What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod back with another video, and today I'm going to share one of my best sales days on eBay so far. Now, I've never made this much money on eBay, so this is definitely one of like those highlight reel type of videos. But as you guys know, I like to share the good, the bad, and the not so good on this YouTube channel, just so I can show you guys what it's really like being a full-time reseller on eBay and on Poshmark. Now, I usually do share my eBay sales on Patreon, but today, since it was such an incredible day, and this was actually on November 25th, I'm just now finally deciding to actually create a video for you guys, because I wanted to wait a few days just to see in case any returns may have happened, but thankfully there were no returns so far. So with that being said, I'm going to share some of my sales, and keep in mind, like I said, these are gross sales. So gross sales usually do include the shipping. It also does not include the fees that I have to pay as well. So I'm definitely not going to be leaving with a 914 bucks, but just about on every item that you guys are seeing, I at the very least, double my money. So if you guys are interested in these kind of what so videos, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so first up is this Nintendo GameCube controller, and I was able to test this one using my Nintendo Wii. So that's just a quick tip for you guys. Some of the Nintendo Wiis, they have ports that you can plug in your GameCube controller, and that's how I was able to test this and make sure it worked before I shipped it out. And this one worked perfectly, so I'll price this one at 30 bucks, which is somewhat at the higher end for these GameCube controllers. I've seen some sell for way less, but this one sold for 30. I picked it up for about 2 bucks, so I made some decent profit on this, because shipping, even though shipping was free for the buyer, it cost me about $4 to ship this one out. Next up, we got a pair of Air Jordan 4s, and if these were my size, I definitely would have kept these. I actually wore these to the gym a couple times, but they were a little too big for me. But these are the type of shoes that anytime I come across them, they usually do stay in the personal collection. And it's been a while since I made a personal sneaker collection video, so drop a comment if you guys want to see an updated version of that, because I usually do rotate my shoes every few months, because I'm always selling some of the stuff that I find. But anyway, I paid 25 bucks for these, and they sold for 110, and these were in really good condition. As you can see, they just had some minor yellowing due to age, but the person that actually purchased these shoes, they actually messaged me and told me how much they really did love the shoes, and the yellowing didn't bother them at all. It actually just showed the age, and it was something that he appreciated. So if you guys come across some Jordans, or specifically Jordans that might have some yellowing, definitely still pick those up, because most collectors, they don't really mind it, and sometimes they'll just clean it up themselves. Next up was a really unique find for me. This was the first time I actually found this brand, and I took somewhat of a risk on it only because I knew it was the quality was really nice for me. So I just figured I might as well take a chance on this, and this one sold for 100 bucks with free shipping. And I believe this one went to Canada, so I did have to pay a little more for shipping. I think I spent about 20 bucks or so on shipping. I was able to put this in a padded flat rate envelope, and I think that was like 25 bucks to ship it to Canada. But anyway, I still made some good money on this one. I picked this blaze up for only 4 bucks. So if you guys come across this brand, I'll show you the tag, Harmont and Blaine. This brand is a first-time brand for me, and when it comes to menswear and blazers, to be 100% honest with you guys, I'm usually very well versed on menswear brands, but this is my first time finding it. But it did have all the usual telltale signs of a high quality garment, especially considering the fact that the buttons were really nice, the fabric felt really nice and soft. The inside was just everything about it. There were all the subtle details about it just screamed high quality to me. So I took a chance, and it sold for 100 bucks. Keep in mind the shipping was really expensive, but at the end of the day, I still made some decent money. Next up is a pair of Uggs, and trust me, you guys are going to see a bunch of Uggs, because I have so many of these in stock. I'm almost sold out at this point, but I had so many of these, so you guys are going to see a lot of Uggs in this video. But this one sold for $96.99. I don't even know why I priced it at this price point. That's kind of unusual for me, but these did sell within about 2 days. I could have probably priced them a little more expensive, because shipping was free, and I shipped it FedEx Smart Post, and I think it cost me about 9 bucks to ship these out. But I only spent about 21 bucks on these shoes. So I really did make some good money on these. So if you guys come across Ugg ascots in your area, definitely pick them up. Even when I find them used, I still pick them up, and they still sell for like 60 to 70 bucks as long as they're in good condition. Next up is this Tumi garment bag, and Tumi is one of those really high quality garment bags. They make suitcases as well. I believe they make messenger bags, all type of bags, but this one was Tumi. I picked this one up for about $5 or $6. The only problem with this one is that on the clips right here, if you guys can see, one of the clips had some minor damage on it, but it still was able to close fully, so that really didn't affect the price point at all, as a matter of fact. And I did sell this one for $60. I took a best offer on these, and shipping cost me I think it cost about $12 to ship this one out. So definitely be on the lookout for Tumi. It's one of my favorite brands to sell when it comes to bags. One of the few bag brands that I actually know. And anytime I find Tumi, I usually always do pick it up. Next up, we got another pair of Uggs. These are the Tasman slippers. These sold for $70. These were brand new in box. I paid about $20 for these. So made some decent profit on this. And I shipped this also. I believe this was also shipped out to somebody in California, and this was right before I left, so I saved some decent money when it came to shipping. It only cost me about $8 to ship those out. Next up, we got another pair of Uggs, and these are the Ugg Bandaras. I've had about 5 or 6 pairs of these in stock. I sold a few on Poshmark, and I sold a couple on eBay. And I think I'm all sold out at this point. I might have 1 or 2 pairs left. I'll have to check. But this was definitely a really popular style, and I'm glad I picked those up. Next, we got another pair of Uggs. Same story. They sold within about 3 weeks. Next up, we got this vintage LL Bean puffer vest. This one sold for $29.99. I had this in the inventory for a very, very long time, at least 6 months. I picked this up over the summer, so it made sense as to why it took so long to sell, because nobody is really going to be picking up puffer vest in the summertime. And I paid, I think, $3 or $4 for this vest. It sold once, but the buyer just never paid for it. So I had to cancel that order, and then I went ahead and relisted the same item. So anytime that happens to me, it's usually pretty frustrating, but it is what it is. It usually does happen at least a few times a month. Next up is another pair of Uggs. This is probably one of the higher end pieces that I sold. Also spent about $20 to $22 for these, and these sold for $109 plus $9 shipping. And this one also shipped out to somebody in California. So I was just super lucky, because if anytime I sell any items on the East Coast, it costs me so much more money. And that's when I usually implement FedEx Smart Post to kind of save a couple bucks on shipping. But anytime it's a West Coast buyer, it usually does work out in my favor. So this one, I made a really good amount of profit on these, and these sold within about, I think, maybe 10 days these actually sold. So this was a really good flip for me. Next up is another pair of Uggs, and these are actually the Tasman models. These usually sell really well for me. They're not as popular, and they don't sell for as much profit, but the thing is, they sell pretty quickly for me. So that's why I don't mind picking them up, even though I do spend about $20 for these, and they only sell for $70. And it's free shipping as well. It's one of those things that I don't mind still sourcing, because it does sell relatively quickly. Next up, another pair of Uggs. These actually sold for $90. The Ascots always sell better than the Tasmans for me. These sold for $90, like I said, free shipping, and it cost me about $9 to $10 to actually ship these out. So this was also a really good sale. These did sell the same exact day that I listed them. Next, we got another pair of Ugg sneakers, and these sold for $50, free shipping. And of course, like I said, even though it's free shipping for the buyer, I still got to pay for shipping. And I believe I only have 1 of these left. I think I paid $15 for these shoes, so I did make a decent amount of profit. Nothing too crazy on these, but I had a lot of these in stock. I had about 10 pairs of these. So in terms of volume, I did make a decent amount of money on this particular style and model. And I think I still have 1 left in these. So if you guys are interested, definitely shoot me a message. Next up is another pair of Uggs. Same story with all the others, but I figured I might as well share this one with you guys as well. And last but not least is this pair of dress shoes from Beckett Simonin. These were practically brand new. I only wore these one time. These came from the personal collection, but I definitely don't need any more shoes at this point. So like I said, I wore them once, and I just threw them up on eBay, and they sold for my full asking price of $120. Alright, y'all, that's all I got for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. And I already know that I sold a ton of Uggs, and trust me, Uggs is one of those brands that I don't personally wear, but a lot of people do love them. And back when I was living in California, I had access to an Ugg outlet, so I used to just rack up on as many Ugg shoes as I can find. And it was perfect timing, because I found a bunch of men and women boots, and as you guys seen, a lot of those sold in that one day. So I'm definitely going to try to make my way back out there, so I can try to recoup on some of those items, just so I can constantly have Ugg inventory, because at the end of the day, people really do love Ugg, and it makes me a decent amount of money. I was making at least 25, sometimes as much as $100 on a pair of shoes from Ugg. So I'm definitely going to be going back there, and I'll definitely document that for you guys as well. So that's all I got for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
For the winner, cause you felt like you was losing, only for the winner. Move just to keep from cooling. Like only for the winner, only for the winner, only for the winner. Boy, my heart is cold, and I'm too cool to sweat it. I should've never offered it. I'm tight and now I'm off this shit. You should wanna be a real one.